What is up, people, and welcome to a brand new mini-series on my channel. Before we get into it, if you're not already subscribed, go and hit that subscribe button for, of course, daily F1 2017 content. But today we are starting a brand new series where we're going to be showcasing the classic cars, starting with the 1988 McLaren MP4-4, driven by Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost as well. And this car actually went on to win 15 of the 16 races that it competed in that season, 15 pole positions and 10 fastest laps. Ayrton Senna won the Drivers' World Championship in the season as well, and this was actually powered by a Honda V6 turbo. Boy, how times have changed. The Honda power really not performing to its capabilities in the F1 2017 season, but back in 1988, this was the dominant engine. It literally just dominated the field. 15 race wins out of 16 is absolutely fantastic. The only race that it didn't win that season was in Italy, which was won by Gerhard Berger in the Ferrari. So that's only fitting that Ferrari won at its home race. But here we are just on board, and we kind of did struggle with this car to start off with. It's very heavy on the steering, mainly because we are used to 2017 cars where you can just throw them into the corners. You've got a lot of downforce on those ones, where these ones, there's hardly any downforce at all. The front wing is literally just flat, and it's just to sort of push you down a little bit into the ground. But it was a nice car to drive, very enjoyable. You could just throw it into the corners. It had a lot of power, especially with that turbo, and especially when it kicked in a little bit late. If you got down the power a bit too much too early, you will lose the back end, and you will go in for a spin. So yeah, really enjoyed this MP4-4. Can't wait to see what we can do on the other cars as well. We are going to be in this series driving around the British Grand Prix on every single one, just so we can sort of compare the lap times amongst the other cars and sort of see which cars are faster, how close the cars are together. Obviously, I'm maybe not the best driver to do this. My driving isn't. Obviously, people can beat the lap times that I have set at the moment at 1:43.350. So yes, other drivers are probably better than me and can set better lap times, but I'm just sort of showcasing for you guys what we can do. And this is going to be the hot lap. So starting from a grid stop on the starting line, and away we go for this lap, all the way down in towards this very quick turn 1, which you can take pretty much flat out in this MP4-4, lifting off just a little bit down in towards that corner. But now down in towards turn 3, and unfortunately we just broke a little bit late down in towards turn 3. Normally in a 2017 car you break it around the 100-meter board, just breaking a little bit too late. You have to break a little bit earlier in this MP4-4. This was a corner which we did struggle with in this car. You just lose the back end as you're trying to get the power down all the way down towards the Wellington straight. You know, trying to maximize your straight line speed down that straight, and unfortunately just kicking out the back end, running it a little bit wide as well in towards Brooklands, but keeping it nice and tidy on the exit of Loughfield. I like to sort of extend my line on the entrance into Loughfield and then get a great exit, but once again losing the back end, as you can just see there as we're on board with the front wing, and now coming down into the old start and finish straight, down in towards the old turn 1 of Copse Corner, nice and tidy through there, lifting off, going down a couple of gears, and just trying to keep the straight line speed as much as we possibly can. Now into this very high speed section of Magnus and Breckers. Don't even need to touch the brakes at all through this corner. You just want to feed the car through and let the car do the deacceleration for you, do the braking for you through that corner, down towards 4th gear and in towards Chapel, onto the hanger straight now, down in towards Stowe Corner. Last couple of corners left in this British Grand Prix. So let's see what this MP4-4 can do. Obviously, you know, we're not expecting it to set the timing screens alight, but it isn't competing with anybody else at the moment. It is going to be the only car on the timing sheets at the moment. But through the final corner, down towards Vale, and across the line we go for this MP4-4. Just losing the back end a little bit as we come across the line, but a pretty decent lap there from myself. And it's going to put on the timing screens a 1:46.940. That's the first lap at the moment for the McLaren car. The only car actually on the hot lap. We're going to do all of the classic cars in this series. I think there's 12 of them. So we're going to be doing each of those classic cars, but we're also going to do the slowest 2017 car, which is the Sauber, and the fastest one, which is either the Mercedes or the Ferrari. I'm not actually too sure which one's the fastest. I believe it is the Mercedes, just a little bit faster than the Ferrari at this stage of the game. But we're going to be doing all those 12 cars plus the 2 new ones and sort of compare where all the other cars sort of sit amongst each other in the hot lap, and at the end of it I'm going to decide which was probably my favourite to drive out of the lot of them. But that is not it for the showcase. We wouldn't do a showcase without doing a race, of course, and where else should we do a race other than Monaco? Let's head over to a race in Monaco in the night as well. On this brand new game, you can do Monaco at night. So let's go with 20 MP4/4s down in towards turn 1, and it's lights out, and away we go. We've got Schleifer in front of us. All these cars are exactly the same. The 1988 McLaren, so it's going to be sort of nice to see what we can do against drivers, sort of similar to the difficulty that I'm sort of set on 95 difficulty at the moment. And yeah, just going to try and make a few overtakes on this Monaco Grand Prix circuit, and to sort of see what we can do on the other drivers in towards the Casino Square corner, down in towards Mirabeau now. Having a little look up the inside of this McLaren and trying to see what we can do on the other McLarens as well. It's really hard to commentate when you're literally just saying McLarens, but down in towards the Lowe's hairpin. We get that one of Correa up the inside down towards the Lowe's hairpin. He gets the job done. He's going side by side with Moreno down in towards Portier. What can we do on these two drivers ahead of us? Nothing at the moment, but as we go in towards the tunnel section, we're going to follow right behind the McLarens. So there's four drivers going side by side down in towards the Nouvelle chicane. We're going to have a little look up the inside of a couple of them down into the Nouvelle chicane, braking very late up the inside. Then we get the outside into the next corner, side by side with this driver, still side by side down in towards Tabac. Can we get the job done up the inside? Yes, we can. And there we go, job done up the inside through there. It's just some lovely shots here of this Monaco circuit at night in this MP4/4. It really is a beautiful car. It's probably not my favourite though. Personally, I actually maybe prefer either the 1992 Williams or the 2004 Ferrari. They're probably my favourite looking cars in the game. Probably another car to add into there that's not actually in the game, but the 92 Benetton was a really nice looking car as well. So this McLaren is definitely up there in terms of good looking cars, but in my personal opinion, I really do like the 92 Williams and of course the 2004 Ferrari. But going through Massenet and in towards the Casino Square section, still just trying to catch up to the drivers ahead of me at the moment. It's just because we are all in the same cars. This is a difficulty which is set sort of to my standards at the moment. My driving isn't the best, and we haven't had too many laps in this MP4/4. So just getting up to speed at the moment, trying to catch up to the drivers ahead of me. Of course, as we get further on in this series, hopefully we will be putting the difficulty up maybe towards the ultimate area. That won't affect us in the races, of course, and it won't affect the lap times either. But down in towards the Nouvelle chicane once again, going very, very deep into this corner this time around, braking a little bit too late. Usually in a 2017 car, we sort of look to the 100-meter board for the braking, but you want to brake a little bit earlier than that in this MP4/4. Maybe I need to sort out my own braking style down in towards that corner. But in towards the second part of the simple section, once again, just bumping over the curbs there through that corner, but really starting to close in on these guys ahead of me now. Look at that as we go through the Anthony Nodes corner. It just looks so good. The classic cars, the Monaco at night, it just looks so good. There's nothing better than 20 MP4/4s driving around this circuit, which is absolutely amazing. But now we're really starting to make some ground on these guys ahead of us. So hopefully we can do something down towards Massenet and into the Casino Square section, in towards this left, braking very heavily, nearly going into the back of Gilles there in towards that corner. Just sort of seeing what we can do on these drivers in towards the next couple of corners. Can we go at the inside of this driver? Maybe have a little look up the inside in towards Mirabeau, squeezing him out on the exit. And there we go, job done on Gilles, moving up another position. And that was a lovely overtake down in towards Mirabeau and in towards the Lowe's hairpin. Lovely overtake there. And now looking to see whether we can make any more in this race. It's of course really difficult to overtake at this Monaco circuit, but we'll see what we can do in this car. We might be able to close up to the back of this guy and maybe have a look down in towards Rascasse or the Anthony Nodes corner, but I think that probably is going to be it in terms of overtakes. We're not really making too much ground on the driver ahead of me. There's a huge gap at the moment as we go in towards Tabac once again. Final couple of corners of this Monaco circuit, and that is going to do for the episode. No more overtakes here today. I don't feel going to be able to get the job done on the driver ahead of me. So if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily F1 2017 content, and don't forget to let me know what you think of this video down in the comment section below. Share the video with your friends, and I'll see you next time with a brand new F1 2017 video. But until then, it's goodbye from me.